Today we're doing Scala, by the way. What do you guys think about? Can you hear Scala? Food. Gluten? Why gluten? Scale? Lizard? Scale/scaling? Like Python? Really? Python? Italian bread? How do you spell Italian? Oh, it's actually a bread? Scala bread is actually bread? Legit bread? Really? Language of scholars. Oh, that sounds legit. Hedge fund? You just had Italian. Futuristic toilet? Wait. Now I don't know if you're trolling or being legit. Product? 뭐야? Scalable product랑 헷갈렸구나. Scalloped potatoes? Really? It sounds like futuristic toilet? Oh, you were trolling? I thought that was actually legit. A car? Dude, a car brand of Scala would be good. Football? Okay, now guys, stop giving out what you want to do right now. Yeah, we're not brainstorming what you guys like. Okay? So today we are going to learn about Scala. So what is Scala? It is this. So it's a strong, statistically typed general purpose programming language which supports both the object-oriented programming and functional programming. Designed to be concise, many of Scala's design decisions are aimed to address criticism of JavaScript. So it's supposed to criticize Java, guys. Scala source code can be compiled to Java bytecode and run on a Java virtual machine. So it is something to go against Java, right? 그런 거 쓴다니까? Scala provides language interoperability with Java so that libraries written in either language may be referenced directly in Scala or Java code. Like Java, so is that why it's Scala with Java? Scala is object-oriented and uses a syntax term curly brace, which is similar to the language C. So it's like Java plus C. Since Scala 3, there is also an option to use the offside rule to structure blocks. And its use to advise. Its use is advised. Oh. They have an option of offside ruling. What is that? Oh, it's shortened for scalability? Java deserves to be criticized? Really? Why? Scala has many features of functional programming language like Scheme, standard machine learning, and Haskell, including currying, immutability, lazy evaluation, pattern matching. 역시. Programmers like to be lazy. Well, it also has advanced type systems supporting algebraic data types, covariance and contravariance, higher order types, and anonymous types. Other features of Scala not present in Java includes operator overloading, optional parameters, named parameters, and raw strings. Conversely, a feature of Java not in Scala is checked exemption, which has proved controversial. Just efficiency? Python style indenting, so it's like Java plus C plus Python? This is long history, guys. So the design of Scala started in 2001 at a École Polytechnique Fédérale. Oh shoot, that is probably not the right way of pronouncing. Sorry guys, let me try this again. Okay, let me move you guys over here. So wait, it's Switzerland. 잠깐만. École Polytechnique Fédérale. Fédéral de Lausanne. Is it French? Who's know? In Switzerland by Martin Odersky. It's followed on from work on Funnel, a programming language combining ideas from functional programming and Petrinet. Petrinet. I think that's English, right? You're pronouncing it the Korean way? Hey, really? Wait. École Polytechnique Fédérale de Lausanne. What is Polytechnique? Is it multiple technique? So this must be kind of like an institution. With multiple techniques institution. So Odersky formerly worked on generic Java and Java C, the Sun's Java compiler. After an internal release in 2003, Scala was released publicly in early 2004 on Java platform. Second version followed March 2006. 2011, Scala won a 5-year research grant for over 2.3 million euros. So is that like $2.3 million roughly? Or 2.4? From the European Research Council. On May 2011, Odersky and collaborators launched TypeSafe, later rebranded to Lightbend, a company to provide commercial support, training, and service for Scala. TypeSafe received a $3 million investment in 2011 from Greylock Partners. Oh, is it 2.5? École Polytechnique Fédérale de Lausanne. Ah, it's a university. Oh, really? Oh, what language is this? So, platform and license, Scala received a Java platform virtual machine, and is compatible with existing Java program. And Android applications are typically written in Java and translated from Java bytecode into Dalvik bytecode. When packaged, Scala Java compatibility makes it well suited to Android development, so more when a functional approach is preferred. The reference Scala software distribution includes compiler and libraries, is released under the Apache license. Oh, welcome back, Java. Welcome back, Jolly. How was your 10-minute break? Swiss or German? French? German? Swiss? French? Other compilers and targets. Scala.js is a Scala compiler that compiles into JavaScript, making it possible to write Scala programs that can run into web browsers or Node.js. The compiler is in development since 2013, was announced as no longer experimental in 2015. It was released June 2018 and in 2020. Scala Native is a Scala compiler that is targeted to LLVM compiler infrastructure to create executable code that uses a lightweight managed runtime, which uses the Boehm garbage collector. Ooh, remember garbage collector, guys? So, wow. So basically, the guy created this because he was working on JavaScript before, it seems, and then later created this. Doesn't really have... Because he wanted to combine languages together? So it, like, does everything? Yeah, 그러네. So there's way to write into JavaScript, there's way to write into Java. Probably because it's similar to C, might be something with C? No? A reference Scala compiler targets the .NET framework, and its common language runtime was released in 2004. So it's been 17 years ago language. Why aren't people using this much? I feel like people don't use this as much though. It is a general purpose language. It follows C syntax, nothing to do with C language itself. Ah, just the syntax. Ah, it's different. So examples include Hello World. The Hello World program written in Scala has this form. Object Hello World extends app. So I'm guessing there's an object called Hello World and it's extended to this app. Makes you print Hello World. Close enough, guys, right? Unlike the standard alone Hello World application for Java, there is no class declaration. And nothing is declared to be static. A single tone object created with the object keyword is used instead. So when the program is stored in file helloworld.scala, the user compiles it with the command Scala helloworld.scala and runs it with Scala hello world. So this is in a file called hello world.scala. So then you want to run this. You compile it and then run it with this on what file? Probably is because most of the people using it at Java C devs converting and it helps transition easier. A shorter version of hello world is print hello world. So you don't really need to use the command. So you don't actually have to do this object to hello world to blah blah blah. I think this is just creating it into an object where the output is print hello world, right? And then, so if you just want to, actually, you don't need to even create an object. So Scala includes an interactive shell and scripting support. Save the file and then uses the command Scala hello world 2, and then command can also be entered directly into the interpreter using the option -e. So you don't even need to write this whole print to hello world and then compile it. You can just write it in the command. That's good. That's easy. Easy language. Expressions can be entered interactively in the REPL. So basic example is, this is example of Java. Difference between Java and Scala syntax. You don't understand? What do you mean? It's pretty simple. You could write hello world in 3 different ways using Scala. Basically to create an object and then call it an output of hello world, and then compile it and run it, or you could just create a different file that just says hello world, or you could even just write it in the command saying hello world, but you have to compile it. Yeah, you have to compile it first. Not declaring a class for a method blows my mind. Is that bad if you don't declare it as a class? Personally, like, do you get annoyed? I guess in organizing stuff, it's not good. I don't know. The following example shows the difference between Java and Scala syntax. The function math function takes an integer, squares it, and then adds a cube root of that number to the natural log of that number, returning the result. Java's doing this math, and then this is how Scala writes it. So you don't really need to import because math is an imported function. What's the difference? So it seems Java is doing integer, Scala is doing variable. They created using this colon. 뭐야 이거? Number is int. Int는? Well, this is actually more confusing than Java. You write actually more. Oh, and then 아닌데 log는 여기인데? Actually, Java seems easier, guys. What the heck? Some syntax difference in this code includes semicolon, so you don't need semicolons. Wow, it's like finding the difference. This is direct conversion이고 more idiomatic인 이거래. So it's the same math equation, but this is more easier than this method. So you don't need to type math every time, it seems like. It just knows it. Right? You do the log and then you do toLint. Yeah, it actually looks harder. Wait, actually this looks the easiest. Maybe because we're used to Java. So this isn't the right one to look at. It might be this one that you're supposed to look at. This is to integer. You're creating the result to an integer. But I guess this does it automatically. Actually, this is more easier for me. Shockingly. So, okay, we'll leave the conclusion and my own thoughts for this. Other basic syntax difference: arrays refer to the parentheses instead of brackets. Generic types are written as brackets actually instead of Java's Q sign. Q. Instead of pseudo type void, Scala has a single tone class unit. Bunch of differences for class. When you're defining a class, it seems that you do public class, as you guys all know, instead of they do class. So maybe it's not public for Scala. Yeah, it's Q sign. Yeah, it's a Q. Yeah. Features with reference to Java. It has same compiling models as Java and C#, namely separate compiling and dynamic class loading. Scala operating characteristics are the same as Java. The Scala compiler generates bytecode that is nearly identical to that generated by the Java compiler. In fact, Scala code can be decompiled to readable Java code. Adds a large number of features compared with Java and has some fundamental differences in its underlying model of expressions and types, which makes the language theoretically clear and eliminates several corner cases in Java. From the Scala perspective, this is practically important because several added features in Scala are also available in C#. Yeah. Wonder how scoping works in Scala if you don't have to declare it. Ooh. Now they're giving more differences between Java and the What is concurrency? Oh, guys, oh no, technical difficulties. It froze. Really? Did my internet die? Guys, suddenly technical difficulties opening Scala page. What the heck? That scared the crap out of me, guys. Okay. Site also written in Scala. They have technical difficulties. There's object-oriented extensions. Oh, it just lags because it has so much information, guys. There's cluster computing. There's also testing results. So whoever wrote this, it must be a huge Scala fan, because usually it's not written this in depth. So they actually can compare with other Java virtual machine languages, including Groovy and Clojure. We learned about at least Clojure. Yeah, probably the pen. So Scala is statically typed, while both Groovy and Clojure are dynamically typed. We didn't learn about Groovy yet, right? So it makes the type more complex and difficult to understand, but allows almost all types of errors to be caught at compile time. Oh, this person must be really a big fan. So language ranking, guys. Leg! So as of 2021, JVM-based language such as Clojure, Groovy, Kotlin, Scala, Scala are significantly less popular than the original Java language, which is usually ranked in the top 3 places. Oh, really? Which is also simultaneously evolving over time. The popularity of Programming Language Index, which tracks search for language tutorials, Scala ranked 15 in April 2018, with small downward trend, and 17 in 2021. That being said, this makes Scala the 3rd most popular language after Java, and Kotlin ranked 12th. So actually, for JVM-based language, lots of people use it. Or 3rd. Well, I guess you have to compare with the percentage of how many people use Java and how many people use Kotlin, right? Scala is in the 2nd tier of language, ahead of Go, PowerShell, and Haskell, and behind Swift, Objective-C, TypeScript, and R. So R is pretty popular too. There's other languages out there. So which companies use Scala? In April 2009, Twitter announced that it has switched large portions of backend from Ruby to Scala and intends to convert the rest. Lit used Scala and Play Framework. I've never heard of Lit. Foursquare uses it. Coursera. Apple used Scala in certain teams along with Java and Play Framework. The Guardian, the New York Times, Huffington Post started to employ Scala as a part of a content delivery system at Athena in 2013. Anything for 2021? Swiss Bank, LinkedIn uses Scala Tra micro framework. Meetup uses it, Verizon, Airbnb. Remember the Milk is a weird name. Databricks, SoundCloud, Zalando, Morgan Stanley, Walmart Canada, Duolingo uses Scala for their backend module that generates lessons. So the only criticism that they have was back in 2015 when former VP of the platform engineering group at Twitter, Rafi Krikorian, stated that he would not have chosen Scala in 2011 due to its learning curve. It must be very disgusting to learn. Kotlin is basically Java with extra stuff added. It doesn't seem that complicated. Maybe compared to Java, they find it a bit more complicated. The same year, LinkedIn SVP Kevin Scott stated their decision to minimize their dependence on Scala. November 11, 2011, Yammer moved away from Scala for reasons that included the learning curve for new team members and incompatibility from one version of the Scala compiler to the next. Scala sounds like Java and Python had a baby. So, in conclusion, We never got to figure out where Scala was from, but I think the best choice was probably this one. Or maybe since it's like a Switzerland stuff, maybe it also really came from Italian like bread. So I did like the conclusion of so it seems like they hate Java, so it's supposed to be a Java better version. But when we actually got to see the comparison, I'm not sure about this one. Maybe in some sorts. And then also, I did like the fact that it's the Java and the Python baby. Java and Python baby. And the syntax is similar to TypeScript. Oh, we learned about TypeScript the other day. So must be saying that TypeScript is like the uncle or something. Is the uncle. So it's like a huge language family and has lots of powerful uncle, auntie, family, daddy, mommy. Famous daddy mommies. Yeah. And finally, it seems that it's used a lot. But honestly, compared to other languages, I haven't heard it as much. So, not used. Maybe because I haven't been in a working setting. That I don't know if other people use Scala. But I don't think people use it that much. So, that's all for Scala. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. But that's it.